Hey, this is Dan,
Bob,
and Dr. Aggro
from GigaBoots.com, and welcome to episode 23 of the GigaBoots podcast. I didn't name this one, so quick brainstorming session on what should I say we name it Brainstorm.
Brainstorm.
Either that or Mind Lightning. Lightning Mind? Shock Brain.
Shock Brain?
Shock Brain.
That is like the worst Hulk villain ever.
I am both smart and made of lightning, Hulk. You will never defeat me.
Oh no, Hulk's two weaknesses: thinking and electricity.
wow.
I'm glad.
Hulk is a deep character.
I'm glad Hulk enunciated there.
Well, yeah, no, like this was like mid '80s and like Secret War Hulk, where
okay.
where Bruce Banner was in control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you clarified. So,
Yeah.
so we call this one Shock Brain. I think we're calling
Shock Brain.
it Shock Brain.
All right, why not?
Why
I guess it's better
not?
than Thunderhead.
Thunderhead
I
is
said-
something completely different.
Yeah.
That we really don't need our fan base googling.
What?
And we don't need to be bringing up here.
It's Chinatown sauce.
So Shock Brain.
Shock Brain.
Shock Brain.
All right.
I don't know whether I'd like to eat or drink a product called Shock Brain.
I would love to drink a product called Shock Brain. I don't think I would eat anything called Shock Brain.
It's like Pop Rocks with an extra kick of electricity. Is that like a metaphor? No, it's like electricity.
It tastes like batteries.
Dip this exposed wire into our special powder.
So, episode 23, Shock Brain. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about what we're doing with our Vudja games. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go on to the news roundup. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to do a roundtable. And this episode's roundtable is on the 3DS XL. And we'll move on quickly so we don't spoil any of that roundtable. So, hey, Bob.
What's up?
What video games are you playing?
I'm playing Gravity Rush
Gravity Rush on the Vita.
on the Vita.
How's it going?
No, I bought the PS3 version.
Well, the Vita does need more exclusives,
Yeah.
but that should have come out on the PS3 as well.
Right? I mean, why wouldn't it? It's a game. I play
But
games.
but we need more exclusives.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Gravity Rush. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
because I'm kind of worried that game's going to get really slow and repetitive near the end.
Hasn't got there yet. I don't know.
All right.
I enjoy doing what it's asking me to because it's an
I-
interesting
I-
mechanic.
I stuck it out all the way through, like, to the last section of Assassin's Creed before going, why am I doing this over and over again?
Yeah. Yeah.
I doubt that game will go full-blown Assassin's Creed.
I mean, you have the option of doing repetitive missions kind of like Assassin's Creed did.
And
You can
like
just-
Infamous, where it's just
Right,
a
like
ton of the same structure of mission.
Right. So you can ignore that, but I kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, I platinumed Infamous 1, so that
yeah,
says
I'm
something
like
about
doing
me.
all those deactivate the surveillance devices, and I'm like, oh, I fucking hate these missions. I'm halfway into one. Why did I start this? Damn you, glowing circle, and your enticing effulgence.
If only they didn't use the color blue so much, I wouldn't be so tempted.
Like a moth to the lame.
Aggro, you playing games?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of a Banjo-Kazooie run.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, that's right. I brought my N64 collection out to the living room.
Yeah.
We got it hooked up to that new TV you saw in the Mega Man Upon a Star review. So then Aggro was like, "Do you own Banjo-Kazooie?" And I said no. And then I came back a few days later. Yes.
You son of a bitch.
I forgot.
That, and like I said before, I've got the beta client for the Secret World downloading right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To
that's
try that
right.
out.
So that
To
should be
soothe
pretty
my wait for Guild Wars 2.
Wasn't that originally like a 360 game as well?
The Secret World?
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Every.
I think
like,
they were talking about console, but that everyone kind of does now.
Huh.
Yeah, kind of like the. What
I
was
figured it was originally announced for that, and then they just sort of backed away when they saw the MMOs weren't doing like they thought they would.
This is Ragnar Turnquist. He does what the fuck he wants. He doesn't care if it's a bad idea.
I mean, never mind. I mean, he announced Secret World, so no, he doesn't.
Aw.
I'm just kidding. It's just non-conventional.
Yeah, very, very much.
Yeah. You also have Disgaea on the Vita. Have you been playing that since you got it?
I played a bit of that,
Okay.
going through it.
Personally, oh yeah, that's right. Aggro and I got the chess game Pure Chess on the Vita, so I've been playing a good bit of that. That's good to pick up every now and again and just play a match against the computer.
I still can't believe it runs so bad.
It's pretty choppy, but it doesn't look too bad. Just because it's like, I'd rather it run at a low clip than look ugly. Because it's a chess game.
This is true.
There's no, like, I need to respond to the game in a timely fashion sort of thing.
I still think the Chessmaster 2000 looked better.
It is the best game.
Yeah, Chessmaster 2000 was the best video game ever created.
Clearly. That's why we should have stopped there, but we didn't. We didn't know what was best for ourselves. I'm also playing Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on the Vita. That's pretty good, actually. It's to sum my feelings up for it very succinctly, it's not the way it should be remembered, but it's fucking awesome because you get to carry it with you. So if you're somebody who's like, I need a good reason to revisit those games, if you're not terribly hell-bent on the portable version, I'd go for the console one. Just because they have to, you don't have an L2 and R2 on the Vita, so they have to use the rear touchpad to deal with that.
Rear touchpad.
And
bad territory already.
Yeah. It's pressure sensitive, the L2 and R2 functionality in Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So...
See, I could barely handle that pressure sensitive shit on 3 on the DualShock.
Uh-huh.
I kept grabbing it like, you need to interrogate this soldier. Like, okay, where do you keep that? Slits his throat. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I actually found that a bit easier on the Vita. Some things are easier this time around on the Vita. Like, for example, before, in order to not shoot someone when you're holding your gun straight at their face, you would have to slowly let go of the square button. Depending on your square button, it might lose sensitivity so quickly because of some dead zones with the pressure sensitivity that you'll blow his brains out. I actually had that happen quite a lot towards the end of my PS2 days because the square button was so worn.
You let the button go too fast and he shoots the gun.
Yes, because tapping square is how you fire. So if you bring up your gun with square and you let go slowly, you'll put the gun back down. But if there's a lot of dead zones between full pressed and not pressed, it'll just bang.
Snake, why did you shoot that guy? I don't know.
I can do nothing but destroy.
Oh, why do I kill?
I don't kill. It does.
The end of Metal Gear Solid 2 turns into the end of Half-Life 2, and it's like, can you think of one thing you've made? No, I killed everyone. Yes, you did. Wow, you are not taking this well, man.
The gravity gun would have ruled in Metal Gear 2.
You need to guide Emma across. Fuck that. Tosses her across.
Oh, you need to reach that bomb underneath the fucking submarine. No, I don't. Just pull it off the goddamn ceiling.
I'm vampire. Ah!
Laugh and grow.
You just concussion wave him, and he just skates backwards off of the top of that thing, lands on a random pylon, and dies.
Of course, it would make tossing grenades into that tank in 1 a little harder. Because they just fire off into the distance. Although fighting Sniper Wolf would be interesting.
Yes. Because you could grenade her. But, yeah, no, I kind of wanted a good reason to go through Peace Walker, so the Vita one doesn't come with Peace Walker, so yet another reason to get the console one.
Right.
So, I think that's about it, unless you guys remembered something else you're playing or some other comment you want to make about contemporary games that you are occasionally poking at or something. Jay from HailsYeon.com got Pokemon Conquest. Have any of us even looked at it?
I was considering buying it.
I think I saw a Magikarp.
Oh, no, I mean literally. Have you looked at the final game?
I have seen it a little bit.
How does it
over the shoulder
look?
of people?
Good production values for a DS game? Or
I was too far to tell.
Oh. Yeah,
I could tell what the Pokemon were.
GigaBoots.com is going to give this a number range. It is somewhere between a 5 and a 10. So... that's our review.
I mean, it has Pokemon and Nobunaga. That's going to get you above 4 automatically.
In Japan, that generally hits above 9.
I was asking Jay. I'm like, because I know, it's called Nobunaga's Ambition. So I'm like, wait, is Nobunaga? What era is this? He goes, I don't know. Is he winning or losing? It's kind of important.
Yeah. That is very important.
He was saying, like, he's far away from him fucking shit up. I'm like, okay, so you're with your Pokemon, and Nobunaga's got his Pokemon, and then Lubu comes in riding an Arcanine, wielding a Zapdos.
I
don't think Lubu had a place in Japanese history.
He did when he had a fucking Arcanine.
I'm pretty sure Pokemon didn't either.
Well, apparently this takes place in the modern Pokemon era.
It takes place in a parallel dimension.
They keep talking about, like, over there in a different region, people put their Pokemon in little red and white balls, and it's really weird.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to buy that because they also had vehicles and television and radio and all these things that are clearly not in Pokemon's Conquest.
I can imagine there's some Land of the Lost shit going on in the Pokemon universe.
Yeah,
some dick legendary just keeps this region locked in time.
So is the rest of Pokemon the Land of the Lost, or is Pokemon Conquest area Land of the Lost?
I'm going to assume whatever area has Nobunaga in it is the one that's been cut off from the rest of the world.
It constantly repeated the same historical battle.
Yep.
Centuries.
Over and over.
It was the third battle of Sekigahara. God damn it.
We've arrived at the news roundup. So let's go ahead and get started. First bit of news, Nintendo has announced an 8-bit summer on the 3DS eShop. They're going to have a number of classics come out over the next month and a half, 2 months.
How much they got charged for them?
Well, I don't know. Whatever the going price. You're the one with the 3DS. You should be telling us, jackass.
Well, they don't. It's not the same always. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
they
You
change
told me
it
about the
every game.
The two Game Boy ones that are like $2 difference.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the Virtual Console was pretty,
Virtual
pretty
console
consistent,
was
except
consistent.
for licensed games
And
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
and yet they just jack up the price randomly on there.
I don't know.
So
in any case, Bob, the games they announced goes from great to what to good to what to oh my god. So here's the list. July 5th, we're going to get The Legend of Zelda, Kirby's Pinball Land, and The Sword of Hope 2.
what is that?
July 12th, we'll be getting Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters. For those who don't know, that's a Game Boy one. That's the second one in the series.
Oh, I forgot the Kid Icarus didn't get it.
Dude, the Game Boy one's awesome.
Well, they had a Game Boy one.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
That was the only one I ever played.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
a legitimate sequel, and a lot of people say it's better than the original.
I wouldn't be surprised. The original's not very good.
Oh, man. The hate mail floods in.
Right in the nostalgia.
Right in the nostalgia. And then also on that same day, we'll get something called Tumble Pop.
That's also something you shouldn't just Google unwarily.
July 19th, we get Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, which is still one of the worst goddamn names ever. Because you can't use land twice in a title. I think that's distasteful.
It's like trying to rhyme the same word.
Wait, how does it have?
Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3.
Oh, that's all one game.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's all
whoa.
one game.
Like Super Mario Land 3 is coming to the 3DS. Really?
I remember somebody told me the name, and I'm like, that is retarded. I am not playing that game based on it. I was like, what, 10? 9?
And you had principles.
Dude, anything named that stupidly back then was just a terrible game.
That was before irony.
Yes.
Because I remember I heard Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. I'm watching the shit out of whatever that is.
So yeah, also during the 8-bit summer, we're getting Sonic Blast on the Game Gear, which anyone who saw our battery test video knows how awful that is.
Ooh.
And Sonic Labyrinth, which is yet another
What?
horrible creature for the Game Gear. It's like Sonic Blast, only weirder. Or Sonic 3D Blast.
Only with David Bowie.
Only weirder, yeah. Only with David Bowie.
Of course. You know.
So it's just so weird that they had like total A-listers with a couple weird ones and then that at the end. Just like weird stuff and then those two terrible games. Sega really doesn't know what is good and what isn't good.
They're just showing randomly looking for good Sonic games.
Yeah, I mean, you recall what they did with Sonic like a while back where they pulled all the bad Sonic games, but then because they were like, we're going to pull every Sonic game from our retail channels that's below this Metacritic rating.
Really?
So it was like, yeah, they did this before Generations came out by about a year. The year before Generations came out, around Sonic Colors, they said, we're going to pull everything that's under this Metacritic rating. In my opinion, though, Unleashed might be better than Generations. So I thought that was hilarious when Generations came out, and I tried it, and I was like, oh, wonder how long until that policy applies to new games. Like, it's been out for 3 months. It was crap. We realized we're pulling it back. We're taking it back.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's our 8-bit summer on the 3DS. We got Legend of Zelda. Going over that list one more time: Legend of Zelda, Kirby's Pinball Land, The Sword of Hope 2. Kid Icarus.
I'm buying that one.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
you gotta see it. It's like, I didn't know they had a game like this on the Game Boy.
I mean, I'm hopeful.
Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, Tumble Pop, Super Mario, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, Sonic Blast, and Sonic Labyrinth. And that is the 8-bit summer for the 3DS on the eShop.
How exciting.
How exciting.
Were all of those games 8-bit?
Yeah, Game Gear's 8-bit, Game Boy's 8-bit, NES is 8-bit. Yep.
Nice.
So, next bit of news, Blizzard explains what's with Diablo 3's 72-hour lockdown. For those who don't know what the 72-hour lockdown is, if you buy a digital copy of Diablo 3 now, effective this last patch, you are in starter pack mode, this sort of free mode,
What?
until they can verify some stuff with credit cards and things. And that takes, at most, 3 days. So
That's terrible.
Some people are having to wait 3 days to actually play the game they bought,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird because
It's freaking digital.
it's not like you can't take it back. Blizzard, you have the full sign-in system and everything. This isn't an offline game. If they buy it and oops, they conned you, take it back. What are you doing? In any case, let's go ahead and read off Blizzard's explanation. I'm taking the mic with me, Aggro. No one cares. No one likes you. Okay. For security reasons, and to help ensure the integrity of the game and auction house service, players who purchase the digital version of Diablo 3 may have to wait until payment verification is complete before they can access certain game features. See below for a full list of restrictions associated with digital purchases. They can't, in fact, let me go ahead and go back because I'm not reading any more of that. It's pretty long. They can't even play with normal people during that time. They can only play with people with the starter pack. They cannot access either auction.
Sounds like an effort to curb either, gold farming or some kind of in-game piracy.
I think it's to curb piracy, but
all the news I'm hearing out of Diablo 3 seems like Blizzard invented this. They had this crazy idea with their real money auction house. Mm-hmm. And the idea was so huge and unwieldy that they're having a problem, wielding it.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's getting a little out of hand.
Basically, they compromised the quality of the entire game to make the auction house work.
Yeah.
In fact, item drop rate is apparently tied to the auction house.
I heard about that. That's terrible shit.
That is horrifying.
That is that is a fist in the ass.
That is a new invention of some horror of the current generation of games. I thought we were done with that. After horse armor, installs, and all that other crap happening on consoles.
Right?
They
It's sick.
They had necromancers, June necromancers at Blizzard come up with this idea on how to screw people out of pirating, which is okay, but also various other features to make sure they can't pirate and hinge the game on a system where they make a constant flow of money. Yeah, they are stunning. Not sure if... kind of related, not so much related to this specific story. Did you hear about what happened with the auction house, the real money auction house, when it went up?
Oh, God, what now?
Okay, so when the real money auction house went up, all the equipment had decent values, right?
Right.
Because they opened it at a time of day where America was awake and China was asleep. That night, the value of everything on the auction house dropped like several dollars because China woke up. It was just... I love that thought. Like, oh no, everything's cheap now. China woke up. This is amazing.
Like, we're going to keep gold farmers out of our game this time. Yeah, go ahead and stick your finger in that dike.
Right? You just have fun with that.
why do they think they can even stop that?
I don't know.
It's insane.
They
I think they started selling level 80 characters in WoW to undercut the black market. They're like, you're going to buy it anyway. At least you're buying it from us.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Wow.
Please tell me you're making that up.
No,
Brandon.
that happened.
That's sick.
That
Well,
is...
I mean, honestly, buying a level 80 character is sick. Blizzard selling them because these assholes are going to buy them anyway, I like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into that. The whole process is nasty. But if Blizzard does it, because those people are going to do it eventually.
I don't like the selling of level 80 characters at all.
Right.
In an arena in which that's happening anyway, I do like the idea of Blizzard assuming that function.
It's kind of like the concept of Bandcamp, where people will put up music for free just because they're like, people are going to pirate it anyways. We're just going to put it up for free, and you can pay whatever. It's like that sort of
At
same
least the
mechanism.
right people are getting some money out of this transaction.
Right, and the whole process has been designed, sort of.
It's sort of changing the mechanism to fit the de facto operation.
I mean, here's the thing for me. WoW is so much of a bastard child compared to the vanilla WoW that that sort of thing taking place really doesn't faze me like it would with most video games. Like even Diablo 3. Yeah.
I mean, they used to have a lot more problem with people buying characters before they nerfed everything 3 times. Like, seriously, when they make Stromguard elite again, then I'll start giving a shit.
So moving on, and off of Blizzard-related topics, thank God. Kirby's Dream Collection is expected to come out in North America on September 16th. It has been announced for that. For those who don't know what's in this collection, it has Kirby's Dream Land 1, 2, and 3. So, that's the NES one, the Game Boy one, and the Super NES one. It has Kirby's Adventure. I'm going to be honest here. I'm blanking on that. I don't remember.
Maybe that's
which
a Game Boy one.
It could be another Game Boy one. Kirby Superstar, which is the best one ever. And
Obviously.
Kirby 64, which is...
That's the one I was surprised to see on this.
Yeah.
Like, I actually...
Somebody's Vita is spazzing out right now. Yeah, it's making Vita sounds. Let me boot up my Vita, take it out of suspend mode, and see if it has some... Yeah, it's just staying connected to the internet, telling me when people are signing in.
Why would it do that?
Because it wants to make a lot of sounds during our podcast.
What you were saying about Kirby 64?
Yeah, Kirby 64 is a bit of an odd child.
I find it interesting it's there. Like, I want to play more of that game. Cause I played it back in the day, and it was... I remember like 3 hours long, and I was baffled by that.
Yeah, I remember really liking it. It was actually one of the first Kirby games after the Game Boy one that I played a lot of.
See, I'm not sure. Did you get to try Superstar before you tried 64?
I don't think so.
This is probably why you guys have a completely different opinion of it than me.
No,
I think Eric and I sit pretty much the same on 64. Him and I sit the same on a lot of the series. There are only a couple points where we diverge greatly. But yeah,
so is it mostly negative? I guess
64 is a weird one. It's like you combine the two different things in order to get your abilities.
Not as weird as freaking that Epic Yarn.
Epic Yarn, yeah.
I really like the ability combination thing. Like, as like ice and rock became a refrigerator.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It was humorous. I don't know. But whatever. We'll give you more on our commentary on Kirby 64 when we do a Kirby month, which is when hell freezes over and Eric comes back
into town,
to fucking throw a month-long
guys,
thing.
to describe Dan and Eric's love for Kirby, like you've seen someone be gay for a video game series before, but if you've never seen two guys be gay for each other over a video game series...
Aggro, I'd love to say how wrong you are, but then I would be lying. Yeah, I would say that's fairly accurate. But in any case, the coolest thing about the Kirby collection is that it's going to come with those 6 games. It comes with a soundtrack and a booklet, and then it also comes with a virtual museum mode, a timeline mode. It's listed as 2 separate things, so you can actually go through the timeline of Kirby releases, and it'll give you pop culture about the era in which it came out, which is humorous.
Wow.
And it's pretty polished looking, actually. You got little Kirby running around on this line, timeline going into the background to the right.
I'm surprised this is even coming to the States, to be honest. It's amazing.
they've released all the Kirby here.
It's true.
So I guess there's a market. I mean, honestly...
Well, I mean, I was also surprised when they brought the Mario collection here, too. It seemed like just that weird...
That weird niche of Japanese collection that isn't actually a good deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Dragon Quest collection we never got.
Thank God.
I would buy it.
Dragon Quest?
Yeah. It was like the NES ones. I don't know if any of them are good. I would need to know, though. You're shaking your head at me, Dan.
No. They're the PS2 one's amazing.
PS2 one is amazing. Go level 5.
Boomerang.
Yep.
Fuck this sword nonsense. Boomerang.
So, moving on. We got id Software here, and they're talking on the PlayStation blog about what they're going to do with Doom 3 BFG Edition. Did you hear anything? Yeah, okay.
Now, I kind of picked up from the trailers I saw, but nobody overtly said it. Didn't they just put more lights in this game so I can actually see what the fuck I'm doing?
Two things they did is your flashlight is attached to your gun.
Automatic
duct
tape
tape
mod.
Yeah, duct tape mod.
That was the best thing ever.
And
wasn't
yeah,
it like,
there are more lights
a,
in the game.
A graphical limitation, that light thing?
Yeah, it was an engine limitation. That's been relatively well known for a while, but then apparently when... Oh, God, he's not Klepek, but I hold him in the same group of editors. The guy over at... Ben Kuchera, there we go. Ben Kuchera over at the Penny Arcade Report, apparently. He thought it was an artistic decision that they made because he's a snowflake like that. And then he talked to them, and they're like, no, it was an engine limitation. And he's like... What? You broke my heart, John Carmack.
I was going to say, like, I want you to look me in the face and tell me John Carmack did that as an artistic decision.
Yeah, right.
This man can speak machine code verbally.
Right.
Now, will this edition have the 3D goggles support?
Real quick.
Sorry.
Before I answer that question, it really pissed me off that Ben didn't know that by now, that it was an engine limitation, because I knew that shit 4 goddamn years ago, and if he was really that much of a fan of Doom 3's flashlight on, flashlight off gameplay mechanic, I thought he would have known that. I mean, he does write news for a goddamn living. In any case, that's not the point. The custom Carmack solution you're speaking of, that thing?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it supports 3D on the PS3. And that is also...
No, like the goggles.
Yeah.
Thing, where you actually VR head tracking stuff.
I don't... It did have that extra level of connection.
Because I think they said on the 360 version. I know it's on the PC one. I don't know about this.
Did you say they support it on the 360 version?
I thought they said that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making stuff up.
You could be. I don't know.
It's kind of what we do here.
What?
Is that not?
That's what you do here.
Oh, we're going to need to talk about like half these news items that I brought you then. Because
oh, God damn it. Well, we're just going to do them all, and then we'll apologize.
You should really look at the domain names of the shit I send you.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind from here on out. Apparently, something they bring up in this post is that you can choose whether or not you use the updated version or the original.
Interesting. So if you like the artisticness of not being able to see what the fuck you're doing.
I want to jump into that because I didn't get to experience that on a good system back in the day, because that thing sodomized machines.
Yeah.
It really did.
It did.
So, and it's funny because, you know, Doom 3's lighting was so intense, it kind of spoiled me. You know, it took so many years for us to finally get past that level of detail. I mean, we had well-lit environments, yes, but I had already seen the trick that they did in Doom 3, because Doom 3's lighting is so insane compared to most games. That's why there's so little light. But in any case, the next bit of important news about this is that it's going to contain Doom 1 and Doom 2. So there you go.
Nice.
Killer app. Go pick it up today, Doom 3 BFG edition.
When does this even come out?
Later this year.
Okay.
Let me
Print
click.
John Carmack wills it, so.
Let's see.
We don't know.
We're trees.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything. I could be missing it. Whatever. They apparently recoded the network code so that way multiplayer works a lot better than it did.
Oh, it has multiplayer. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it had it originally.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I didn't expect it really.
You didn't expect... Oh, okay.
Are you winning? I don't know. I can't fucking see anything.
What else? There are trophies and...
That'd be great. Like, half of each team is guys who can only use flashlights. And the other guys can't use flashlights.
That is kind of amusing, yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Getting closer to my dream of an FPS lit only by muzzle fire.
Yes. And limited ammo. Extremely limited ammo. So yeah, there's that. Any other comments? Personally, I'm jonesing for a reason for a Doom 2 party. Yeah.
Wait, is there going to be multiplayer for Doom 1 and 2?
Yeah, it's just straight up Doom 1 and 2.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Not expect that.
That would be a nice party game. Just every, 15 minutes, pass. Throw the controller.
You've never played Doom 2 multiplayer?
No.
It's epic.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. It's like Time Splitters. That and Time Splitters are the same game in my head. Because it's just like, you run really fast, you pick up guns, you fire like crazy. I remember because my uncle was like, hey, check it out. And he booted it up, and I was like, what? They have a model for the main character? Because that was my first time seeing him. Because it's first person. Like all the best games ever. Like Mario. Moving on. Speaking of which, Nintendo is releasing Mario DLC that you pay for with money.
On what?
The new Super Mario Bros. 2 coming out for the 3DS later this year. Yeah, apparently they're going to release DLC for that.
Better not be the end of the game.
No, it's not. Apparently it's going to be new coin rush stages.
Oh, God.
You actually have to
It's
pay for that?
It's that coin vomiting one, yeah?
It's going to be new ones.
That doesn't sound like something worth paying for. They're Mario Man.
I don't get this game at all. I don't see
don't
how even
either.
Nintendo fanboys can look at this and go, yes, everything turns into coins.
This is how I feel about both of the new
I think they're making
Super Mario
fun of
Bros.
us.
I honestly, this could very well be the Nintendo derogatory Americans will buy anything that's pretty mentality. Miyamoto may still be reeling over Donkey Kong Country selling so well, and he may angrily be churning this out.
I mean, this is the really, I don't understand at all where they're coming from with this. At least, I mean, this one should be the more normal one, I would think, because this is their first one on the 3DS. It doesn't have an exact counterpart or anything. It would make sense for this to be like the standard, the vanilla Mario Bros.
Right. Not.
And it's even labeled number 2.
Right. And then they throw in this random mechanic where you need to collect shitloads of gold.
Yeah. I don't...
That just... I mean, you guys saw the Banjo... Oh, wait. I'm not sure that you did. Bob, did you see the Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts review from JonTron?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is literally a collectathon right here.
I didn't see that yet.
Oh, yeah. He talks about how people say all platformers are collectathons. No, this is a collectathon. There are coins everywhere. That's you gotta collect them all, like all of them ever. It's just all over the place. You gotta collect a shitload.
Yeah, the thought of what it sounds like they even progress through the game. It's all about getting a certain number. So
yeah, your major
sick.
goal is like 1 million coins or some ridiculous amount. It's weird. I need Nintendo to be there, doing what they do, making these rock solid gameplay experiences that perform well frame rate wise and gameplay wise are impermeable. So that way, when Sony fucks up, I can point at them and go, look, they know what they're doing. They're not shipping their game 3 months early in order to make a quick buck.
Right.
But no, apparently, if they keep
this up, whatever team is cranking out these new Super Mario Brothers needs to slow down or get something new to do.
Right. I mean,
that's 2 and 3 months or so.
Couldn't we? I mean, I don't know how you two feel about this, but I would have been better with this if they just made it like Super Mario Bros. 2. On the NES.
Oh yeah, if they want to.
That would have been
called back in a totally different gameplay style. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You grab enemies and then you throw them. That would have been great.
But no, this series is only for remaking the original Mario Brothers. over and over.
But the
But
problem
doing some
becomes that you can't do that 3 times. You can do that once, and then you can do it again and add an insane multiplayer mechanic that makes it fun. And then when you go to do it the 34th time, God help you. You need to do stupid shit like make spinning while holding a Yoshi make you fly for some reason. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it still kills me. I'm like, that is just the stupidest damn thing. There is no solidarity to any of these mechanics anymore. Moving on. So Professor Layton is apparently coming to the 3DS in November. Why the fuck wasn't this announced at E3?
They don't see the...
This was like 2 months later. They needed something to announce at E3, and yet instead they're sitting there and they're like, here's Paper Mario.
They figure Paper Mario is the real killer app.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know it. Because it's the variety of Paper Mario and New Super Mario Bros. That made the DS a success. Not the Professor Layton's, the Brain Ages, I can't remember the name of
they don't have a
that
Brain Age
surgery
on this
game.
thing.
What's
Trauma
the name?
Center.
Trauma Center.
Yeah.
Trauma Center, Phoenix Wrights. None of those. No, it was New Super Mario Bros. and Paper Mario.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I haven't played a single Professor Layton game, but I know what they are and I want to.
Yeah,
And it
I'm in that
pisses
boat
me-
with you.
Yeah, and I'm so pissed that they didn't say, yeah, the 3DS has a Professor Layton.
Keep forgetting about Professor Layton. Like, I'll walk by something and see an ad for it. I'm like, fuck, why haven't I bought one?
Yeah,
I'm surprised we
kinda
never
the
got
same boat I
a
am.
U.S. release for that Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
It's probably a licensing thing.
Probably.
Because Level 5's Professor Layton, right?
Right.
And
they
then-
published through Nintendo, I think.
And then Phoenix Wright is
Yeah,
Capcom.
yeah.
That's weird. You think Capcom would be like, whatever, if somebody else brings it over, then we're cool with it. And then Nintendo would do the same thing. Oh no, that's why! Because they both were cool with somebody else bringing it over.
Well, I don't know. Nintendo's never cool with anyone else bringing stuff over, so that would do it. I mean, look how long it took people to branch out the last story from them.
That's true. So, moving on to the next bit of news. Apparently, Gaikai is seeking to sell itself for $500 million.
Interesting.
This
Let's go
doesn't-
buy Gaikai. We got that, right, guys?
We've got $500 million. What are you going to do with it? Run Gaikai? What are your plans with my daughter? To fuck her?
Like, we're gonna purchase Gaikai. Aggro, go purchase Gaikai. Alright, I'm gonna go purchase Gaikai. I come back with some Vietnamese chick. Hey guys, this is Gaikai. You spent $500 million on one Vietnamese woman? Yes?
My God, Aggro. Is she a genie? For
I
my first wish,
think
I
so.
want my $500 million
like, I don't
back.
know. She's been granting all of my wishes, but they've been kind of similar.
Let's
Wow.
Wow.
Okay,
this is
so-
awful.
So this doesn't surprise me at all. The company's owned by David Perry. This is a very typical thing for him. He founds companies, runs them for a while successfully, and then sells them. It's what he do.
You said he did Shiny Entertainment before this?
He
is that
did
right?
Shining Entertainment before this, which he sold, and then before that, he made Earthworm Jim. So he sold the company that made that. Every single time he's made a company,
He sold Tommy Tallarico.
he sold Tommy Tower. That's why they sold him to Namco.
Where
That's why he
am I
did that
going?
Pac-Man.
David, shut up, Tommy. Get in the van.
You know, guys, I really want to play that Pac-Man kart racing game because Tommy Tallarico did the music for it, and that just I'm like, what? You're actually renowned for some reason, and you're doing a kart racer for Pac. What? But yeah, so this is kind of weird because they're setting up that network for Samsung, that remarkably awesome, ambitious network where you're going to be able to play games on your Samsung TVs that are newer than a certain age, with just a firmware update and a controller.
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy, and it's like, okay, why are you trying to sell now? Is this your high point, you think? I don't know.
the
Sony's
network's completely ass fucked, and they don't want to tell anyone before they sell it.
That could be the case.
Here's the sad thing. This is kind of like Valve. Like, Valve ran Steam while it was completely unprofitable for quite a while, well, it had tons of issues, and digital distribution was a brand new frontier. If Gaikai just kept doing this long enough, they could eventually be the Steam on the back end, where everybody in the industry just goes to them because it's so much easier than getting their own system up and running.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, they're just trying to sell it because David Perry wants money. David Perry got to get paid. Son.
David Perry got to do David Perry.
Yep.
David Perry can do bad all by himself.
Word. Because, I don't know, I think if we get to the next gen consoles and they have absolutely no functionality like this, that'll look kind of bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's already obvious that this gen's digital distribution is sloppy compared to other platforms like Steam and also Steam.
So, yes, compared to that
what
one.
What about Origin?
Compared to a much smaller company than Sony or Microsoft, yes.
Right. But they have that much more flexible thing, or platform.
Right, so it should be harder. Because they have a whole lot more ambiguity on what's running their software. You know?
True.
Sony should be able to... The problem here is that Sony doesn't throw enough money at developing their own platform. They never have. They always do what's bare minimum necessary to match their competitor, and that's sort of where they sit. I mean,
Microsoft
remember they
was just
announced...
too retarded to make it anything but Kinect controlled. So
I mean, the PlayStation Store was a web page.
yeah, that was something. That was quite something.
You know, it's
Oh,
horrifying. Yeah. We're probably the very few people who actually owned a PS3 back then and noticed. Because the majority of people did not own a PS3 at any point in time, let alone in the first 2 years. Year and a half.
Yeah, did that last that long?
Yeah, it lasted a year and a half.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Imagine what Steam was like back then. Man, that's fucking magical.
Because I have no proper grasp of how old Steam is, I'm just thinking of Steam on like an Apple II.
Wow. Steam's been around since
Aggro's
2006? Is that right? Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know.
2006, 2005.
I can't remember. It launched.
Basically alongside Half-Life 2.
Did
like
it?
Shortly thereafter.
It launched a bit after, because I remember the... Wait.
No,
It was alongside, because I bought that package they did.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, this is weird. Oh, what's going on with
This
this?
is crazy. Why is it so cheap? Did they steal this? That's the part that kills me with Sony. It's like they charge so much more than Steam for their bandwidth, and their system is so much worse.
Right?
And if you think about it, their market is so much smaller technically.
Yeah.
And they charge so many more fees. They honestly, they shouldn't charge anywhere near as much. They should have an optimized setup the whole way through, but no. Nope.
Too complicated.
Apparently, or they're just really bad at platform development because they are ADD, because they're a giant corporation. I mean, dude, they are. Sony's ADD. Every time they come up with a cool idea, they stick around with it for 3 months and then they run like hell. Eye of Judgment,
Yeah.
PlayStation Move.
I'm looking forward to the Magic Book or the Wonder Book, and them being on that for a week.
Wonder Boy.
Dude, that could end up
Both
like
of them.
that could end up like the iToy.
All
Where
two
it just
Wonder Books.
where it comes out in the States and we're like, oh, that's neat, and we try it and it's cool, and then it comes out in Europe like a little bit before it. It's selling like crazy in Europe and Japan, so we just keep receiving these games. We keep
Like,
receiving
who's
these.
making these?
We keep receiving Wonder Books a year later. Why are?
Yeah, I played the fuck out of that one game pack that came with the iToy.
Yeah, that thing
That
was
ruled.
amazing. Like, I'm gonna be honest here. That's cooler than most Move games.
Yeah. Like shit, I was buying some of the games they were putting up for the PlayStation Eye off the network.
Yeah.
Like the terrible puzzle games that were like way overdone and not.
So wait, you
very
have
puzzly.
those?
I had like one of them.
Oh, dude, we should quick play that.
All right.
Yeah, because I mean that would. and then people are like, "Why'd you do this?" And we're like, "You should listen to the podcast, man. Bitch."
Synergy.
Synergy. Yep.
Or like extortive marketing. I don't know.
One of those two. I don't know. Okay, and we saved the best news bullet for last. So apparently Smash Bros. Is being developed primarily by Namco. And being headed by Sora. Yeah, no, we weren't done.
No.
You're gonna have to give it a moment. And the 3DS XL was announced. All in one lump sum. Let's go ahead and comment on the Smash Bros. Thing. Aggro, we got Tales producers, Tekken developers, and Soul Calibur developers all working on Smash Bros. Apparently.
Well, when I first heard that they were, sort of shuffling this project out, it was told to me Namco Bandai's making the next Smash Bros. Game.
Basically.
And my mind reeled, and I immediately, desperately grasped for some positive news here, and I went, so is there going to be a Gundam in it? Tell me Bakunetsumaru would not be awesome in Smash.
Dude, I was just imagining, this is why I didn't say anything. It was so beautiful. I was imagining a G Gundam level where, like, the God Hand and the Devil Gundam are fighting in the background. Like, he's just using his shining finger, and it's just, like, amazing.
Like, my second thought, of course, was Namco. Eddie Gordo would be great at Smash Brothers.
What was it? There was like something in Project M that reminded me of Eddie Gordo because of all the weird chainingness of the moves. I'm trying to remember which. I think Lucario's A button attacks all chained together crazily.
Project M. I was thinking
Other M.
Other M. Yeah. I was like, Samus didn't do that.
I think you can capoeira in a robot suit. I mean, they didn't even do that shit in G Gundam.
Why didn't they?
I don't know. Maybe they did. I didn't see the new Bubblegum Crisis series. Did they do it in that?
I didn't see that either.
Damn.
Well, clearly after this is done,
we have to go watch 2024, whatever it was.
Yeah. Jay from Zion buys a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Did he buy that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he did.
Son of a bitch.
Because it's an anime, so let's go watch that on his shit. And then when he gets home, we just walk away. We don't turn it off or anything.
we need to bring a small microphone so we can just drop it in front of it and walk out.
I got a Rock Band mic.
Nice.
Because you need it to look like that. You need it to just hold it out like it's his turn in the rap battle. And boom. Fuck you.
That,
you
by the
bend
way,
over
if you're
and
having
pick
a
it
rap
up.
battle and you only have one mic, it's very bad form to drop the mic when you're done. You need to hand it off.
It is an insult, and it's very personal.
See, it doesn't just insult him, it insults the medium, it insults the community, and it lowers yourself. But you don't want to do that.
But at the same time, Aggro, you can really spin that as you're the bad boy of rap battles.
Look, unless you're going to stab the guy afterwards, it's like slapping someone. I mean,
I'm just saying, after you did that, the guy feels like he was already stabbed, He's like, ouch.
Well, yeah, he feels like he's stabbed, but the thing is, he gets all the angry of having been stabbed without any of, the mobility deficiency of having been stabbed.
Maybe while he's bending over, you rape him a little.
You just rape him a little.
Just a little. Just the right amount.
This is far outside proper rap battle decorum now. I don't know where you learned your rap battle etiquette, sir. But it wasn't the same streets where I'm from.
Oh, okay. So we should not do that to him. Is what I.
Smash Bros. On the 3DS and Wii U.
I thought we were talking
Coming
about
this summer.
Bubblegum Crisis and Gundam. But yeah, they haven't announced a date. It's just being developed like crazy, and Masahiro Sakurai is, of course, going to come over and head the project with Sora.
Now, this makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Is Street Fighter or Tekken Street Fighter actually going to happen now?
I doubt it.
I stopped believing that as soon as the first one came out. I'm like, yeah, it came out. I'm never going to see the game I want. This is horse shit. I know it.
Now, is it horseshit because it's horseshit you're not going to get to see the game you want, or did you actually play Street Fighter Cross Tekken and realize it was horseshit?
No, I didn't, because I didn't play it because I don't like Street Fighter games.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is a dream project. Oh, they're not going to get through 2 games. This isn't going to fucking happen.
It's weird because Capcom versus SNK and SNK versus Capcom, that and then boom, 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 and it worked out.
Oh yeah, they were both freaking 2D fighters that were top of their game.
Yep.
I want to see Tekken versus SNK.
I want to see that too.
Shit, yeah.
That'd be pretty amazing, actually.
It would.
But please don't make Tekken 2D. That's no.
I don't know if you do it like Blaze Blue style, where you have the 3D model, and every move is a fluid movement because it's made with a 3D model, and then they just draw over it. That's why Blaze Blue has.
Really?
Like, that's my major argument for Blaze Blue against Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear is just straight 2D art. Blaze Blue, they have character models, and they draw over them properly, so that way there's a consistent sense of depth to all of the moves.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm so dependent on consistent size of limbs and shit like that. Hakumen
don't play Darkstalkers then.
No, I can't do Darkstalkers because of that. Because it's just so it's like, fuck it.
It's a lot like Skullgirls, where it's just like, yeah, this is artistic stuff.
Yeah.
They're crazy moves. Deal with it.
Yeah, I was noticing that when we went back to Skullgirls, because we played a lot of Street Fighter 3, and I'm a huge Blaze Blue guy. And then we went to Skullgirls again, and I was like, I love this game, but like the characters don't feel, they don't have that consistent proportion sort of thing going on. But in any case, Smash Bros. And not Bubblegum Crisis, Gundam, or Skullgirls.
Yeah.
Or Tekken versus.
What else we got onto with that?
Yeah. I have to say I'm pretty pessimistic now.
It's always worrying.
Didn't Namco Bandai make DNO?
I don't know.
DNO?
Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece. That crazy Smash Bros. Wannabe.
Oh, yeah. We played a few of those that day. I don't remember one of them being bad.
I can't...
That one was a better one of those mashups.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones, but it's nowhere near Smash Bros.
Yeah, it's not Smash Bros. But if they did that, then that at least gives me a little bit more confidence.
They have the technical ability, and if Sakurai's there,
right?
Like this kind of story, it sounds too stupid to not end up being good for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, and this is just me playing on the narrative here. This is going to be one of those, like, who the fuck expected this to actually work, and oh my god, this game's amazing. I'm going to bank on that for no other reason.
I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, Namco has made a lot of this gen titles, and as Soul Calibur 5 taught us, and Tekken 6 especially, they have gotten their shit together.
Yeah, they can definitely make stuff
all
run.
in one basket.
Yeah.
And they have counted it.
I was...
You okay there, Bob?
Sorry, they counted their poop. That's...
Well, they waited till it hatched in the basket.
What were you going to say, Bob?
And
it feels like you stabbed him, you know? He's just sitting there going, ouch.
I am surprised by the Tales producer being on it. It's like, isn't he doing Tales games?
No.
They have one coming out.
Yeah, they do.
Like, shouldn't you be making Tales? I should be. Nah.
Who is doing that?
Who is producing Tales of Xillia?
2.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot the 2. I said the 2 earlier in my head, and
every time I hear about another Tales game coming out, I keep thinking that there's a warehouse somewhere where they've made like 3 more Skies of Arcadia games. And they keep telling like, yeah, we're releasing it to rave reviews. Oh, it's so good. Put it in the warehouse.
What?
So, I guess we should move on to the roundtable about the 3DS XL. So, stick around. We'll be back with the roundtable. And here we are at the roundtable to discuss the various oddities and facets of the news that the 3DS XL has been announced. I'm not sure if I should save this choice little nugget from the article I'm going to link to with you two now or later, but I'm going to do it now because I might forget later. He opens one of the paragraphs. He contrasts the 3DS XL to the DS Lite. And then he follows that up in one of the paragraphs at the very beginning by saying, this is not to say that the 3DS XL lacks appeal, or let me just make sure that's absolutely verbatim. That is not to say the 3DS lacks appeal. Okay, that is not to say. No, putting it in a direct contrast with the DS Lite and the DS and the way that relationship worked. No, the 3DS XL very much lacks appeal in comparison. It is, what, $30 more? because
Yeah,
the
170
3DS is
to
170.
200.
Yeah.
Now, my question dimension-wise, because the 3DS was a nice thick little thing. Is the XL
The same thickness.
like the size of a VCR now?
It is not quite at Wii U gamepad or
Okay,
GameCube.
Oh god, that
heights.
makes this whole thing make sense. They're just prepping us for the gamepad.
There
They're
you-
working us up.
There you go.
Although if that were true, it would have a second fucking analog stick.
This does put this model at substantially larger than the Vita. Fucking massive in comparison, actually.
Yeah, is this thing the same size or bigger than the DSi XL?
I believe it's bigger. Yeah, it
Sorry,
should be
wow.
bigger. Let me go.
I
ahead
was
and
wondering if that ratio was standard between the DS and the or the
Yeah.
DSi and the DS XL, and the 3DS and the 3DS XL.
Yeah, if it's still that thick and that large.
We're kind of pushing the single-digit number letter barrier here with this name.
Seriously, this is another one of
This is like
Nintendo's awful naming problem at this point.
GITS SOC second game.
I don't know why they do this to themselves, but they do.
I'm having trouble finding the size comparison image that I had of all of the portables ever. So I'm pretty sure it's larger.
Gonna go with that. All right.
GigaBoots.com. Baseless conjecture.
Yep, you know it. Fine, I'll keep looking it up. You two just have to be entertaining.
Okay, seriously though, Bob. They released an ugly as shit, horrifyingly ill-conceived base attachment to put a second slider
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
3DS.
And now think about this even more. They're going to make another one of those to go on the
I hope so.
DSi.
At this point, I fucking hope so. Because seriously, I need a place to set my Nook color when I'm not holding it.
Right?
Jesus.
Okay, so we got a 3DS to DSi or 3DS to 3DS XL size comparison. Now let me see if I can scrounge up a DSi XL too.
I mean, I don't hate huge portables. Like, I kind of miss the original DS brick. Like, huge handfuls of things. Like, for comparison here, if any of you have ever gotten your hands on the SteelSeries Cataclysm mouse, that is perfectly natural and comfortable for me. I have meat hooks. But, fuck, this is the stupidest thing. Not putting that slider on this is the stupidest thing since they made the slider attachment.
Right?
That wasn't enough years ago to be acceptable.
Okay, guys, it looks like the DSi XL and the 3DS XL are going to be about the same size.
Okay. That's still pretty
Fucking
unexpected.
huge.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing, this could just be what I'm looking at right now. We don't have depth numbers, but that could just be what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I know Nintendo's website usually is pretty good about putting that stuff up pretty quick, but I've never been there like day 3 of after the announcement of said portable.
Hey, Bob, did you ever get that table stand for Kid Icarus?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what is that like? I mean, is that like attached to your 3DS?
No, it just sets on the table.
So can you use it on the XL? I'm thinking of how many attachments you're going to have to rebuy for this piece of shit.
Actually, since it's so big,
It
Like-
is so big.
it is.
Maybe you can get one of those like wooden plate holders, like the L-shaped ones that hook up in the front.
I mean, yeah, it didn't go, or the thing wasn't so big that it would cover the entire 3DS normally. So the XL, probably going all the way to one side of the screen, would make it fall off of there, like if you pressed it, because it was just behind the screen. Yeah, you need to hold it anyway.
You now have like at least 3 limbs involved in the operation of this game. And you're still playing it wrong if you're getting injured.
Okay, 1 second. I actually have numbers. Oh my god. This was not pleasant. I didn't plan for it the exact, like, how much larger will it be, Dan?
We never asked for this.
So it's gonna be longer? but not as wide. And that is to say that the height of the device is the depth that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how
We
they
can
list
see
it.
your gestures, Dan. Verbally, this is kind of noise.
First it was here.
God damn it.
Then it was
Don't
here.
raise your hand. I'm not even looking.
Bob, will you tell the internet?
No, I'm not going to tell the internet where your hand was.
Or how gay you looked while moving it.
I was fab. Fuck you two. Okay, so yeah, it looks like if we're going to talk in gamer terms, because I always think of it as depth and width and height, not height and length and width.
Length, width, and depth. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I think of it. Like, I think of it as height and width because you hold it facing towards
Okay,
you.
so
the depth.
for a legend here, width is the space between your hands.
Okay, if we were going to do that, which is apparently not what they do, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. The dimensions are 9.1 centimeters by 16.1 centimeters on the DSi XL, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 91 and 161. And then that was 9.1
and
16.1. And the 3DS XL is going to be 15.6 and 9.3. So it's slightly larger on one and a little bit less on the other.
Okay, that is quite negligible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is in fact probably like total size.
Now, what's the depth of it?
It's not listed. But the heaviness is, the weight is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine it's going to be kind of a thick motherfucker.
336 grams, so that puts it at 22 grams heavier than the DSi XL, which is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you'll
thing's
feel it.
already.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
thing-
god, Kid Icarus on that's going to not
Yeah.
work at all.
gonna
People are going to
snap
go to
your
the
arms
hospital.
off.
You're going to go to the hospital. Your right wrist is going to be fatigue injured, and no one's going to believe you were playing Kid Icarus.
No, it's the left wrist.
Oh, left wrist.
Because it's the one you have to hold the system with
Okay,
constantly.
I thought you were
while
getting like carpal tunnel while you were doing with the right wrist, like maybe
No,
trying to
no.
hold the other side up with your pinky. While, ugh.
Yeah, it's all the weight on the one wrist and doing some weird holding position so you can actually move your other hand around everything.
Sexy.
And still hit the L button without any problems. That like if you didn't need to use the L button to shoot, that probably would have worked.
Wow, yeah. It's going to be 50% heavier than the 3DS.
Sounds right.
Yeah, just so people who have a 3DS only and do not own the laptop edition of the DS. So now that we've obsessed over the exact size and weight, let's go ahead and go into the differences. The difference is that it's that much larger. It's 90% larger screen. And it has...
That is almost twice the size.
it is almost twice the size. This is
That's
true.
impressive.
And the start, select, and home buttons are now actually fucking buttons.
Nice.
And they look like the best kind of button, you know? It's just a full panel of button. None.
Yeah, I just wish that they could, release like a 3DS Lite and have that.
Basically, a lighter, slightly cheaper 3DS that had better battery life was all I was looking for. And the battery life in this is extremely negligibly better.
I did
in
know.
fact, I'm insulted that anyone's at all even bringing it up as a feature. It's half an hour longer on the lower end, which already the lower end number that they keep giving is lower than our tested lower end. So,
Wow.
yeah, because our tested lower end was 2 hours and 15 minutes on Ocarina of Time.
Right? That was
And-
full brightness.
And
That's
according to
stuff.
Nintendo, it's 3 hours.
Huh.
And 3DS XL is going to be 3.5 hours. So what that'll actually translate into is 2 hours and 40 minutes on Ocarina of Time.
Adventure.
Yeah, this is why I don't want a 3DS, because it just dies way too quick. I'd much rather wait until down the road when I can just buy all the games that are awesome now on the much better hardware revision for cheap.
Right?
Yeah,
I wish that would happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of been my number one reaction here. It's not that I hate Nintendo. I want something that will play Mighty Switch Force. And the Adventure Time game that's coming out. Speaking of which, Bob, sometime later this year, I'm going to have to borrow your 3DS for like a week. So
Think they're ever going to make a 3DS Micro?
I don't think that's possible.
I just really like the Micro.
Because
the
there is a
the
Wii-
Micro ever sold more than like 50 of them, right?
No, they sold a good chunk. It's just that, the DS sold so much better than the Game Boy Advance in general, which is something I don't... I want to look into why that happened.
They grabbed those brain train crowds, I guess.
Brain train.
I think
They ran a brain train on people, Bob.
just a cultural thing.
The brain age.
Like the people who bought Game Boy Advances were the people who had Game Boys.
Yeah.
And the DS was part of what they did with the Wii, which was, look, it's a new thing. Here, try this new thing.
Here's the thing. The Game Boy was also, like, the only thing more popular than a DS is a Game Boy. The Game Boy was insane.
Yeah.
It took off like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Game Boy Advance... Like, when the Game Boy came out, the original Game Boy, it was cutting edge.
Mm-hmm.
It was comparable to the console counterpart. On a better-made game, it was pretty fucking close. It was like
weird when you think of Mario Land, because that wasn't anywhere near the NES.
Well, that was a launch title.
True.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're fair and compare NES launch titles to Game Boy launch titles. I mean, you get further on in the Game Boy, and you got like Super Mario Land 2. And that was much better. Super Mario Land. What was it? Yeah, 2 was on par with an NES game, I would say, except for obviously the graphics. Or the color. Specifically,
it's so
specifically
the same
the
thing,
color.
except for the
thing.
the thing that I'm comparing it on.
Donkey Kong was insanely good on the Game Boy, and much better than any of the versions on the NES.
Huh.
Yeah, have you ever played that thing?
Nope.
It's fucking epic. They called it like something else entirely in Japan to emphasize how fucking epic it was. It was like Donkey Kong Quest or something, because it has shitloads of levels, and they're all really... Yeah, you have a backflip move. This game is just so different from normal Donkey Kong. But it is normal Donkey Kong. It's crazy. But, the original Game Boy was just comparable to the NES. The 3DS is still continuing that pace of, like, it's nowhere near as good. Because you got to compare the 3DS to the Wii U, right?
Well, or at least when the Wii did, so I think they're going to bank it on that.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Is that how we're doing that?
Yeah, that's how they're doing it.
Because the Game Boy came out, like, the year after the NES came out in the States
No, it
or
didn't.
something like that. No?
Nope.
That didn't
Certainly not, apparently.
I have to think that this is probably the worst revision of any of their portables.
You think?
Did they ever make, like, a Virtual Boy XL?
No.
Now 50% brighter
No.
and redder?
Nope.
How did
With
you make
spikes?
it redder?
Did the spikes go into my head? No, just your eyes. Fuck your eyes. We want your eyes to
We're
die.
going to fuck your eyes with spikes.
You sound like Spoonie's Twitter account. Have you read any of that?
I have not.
I have some shit to show you.
Yeah.
Later. In any case, yeah. I mean, name a worse one. I mean, Game Boy Micro at least had a shtick.
Yeah, the only one I would even compare it to is the DSi XL.
Right, and I don't know. Like, the DS was such a hugely popular platform. Like, that was insane. In that context, the DSi XL made sense.
Yeah,
Of like, oh my god, this thing's insane. People want to buy this. We need to give them more, like, specific ways to buy this. The 3DS isn't that, and it won't be for a good bit longer. If it does become that, it's not this insane success, because the DS sales figures are nuts.
Maybe they want to grab the old people crowd, like, and they think that that is what they're missing, and that they need to do this to do that.
Well, they don't have the software that could even do that.
I know, it's like
And
they don't
that's-
have the software that backs that sort of thing, but that is the group that would want this thing.
How old's Jay from ALZeon.com?
Like, the release of the 3DS XL, it seems to me to be, like, even the DSi XL, it was just sort of a random pure science experiment of, well, let's release this. Anybody buy that? Okay, make one for the 3DS and see what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, their margins are definitely better on that than they are on the 3DS. They've got to be making money.
And if you think about this one though, the 3DS or the DSi XL came out after all of the other DS iterations, so getting the bigger version of it and it was top of the line. Now we could have another smaller version come out, and the big one is no longer even worthwhile. It's become outdated.
Yeah.
So they could have a 3DS XL DSi revision.
I think Nintendo's really rolling with the concept of the 3DS is it, in that it's not broken because people eventually bought it. And
Yeah.
that nothing upsets me more than that.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. That when enough people own 3DSs, they're going to declare that the 3DS was a huge success.
I mean, they do have sales to back it up now.
Well, I understand that, but that's never seemed to stop them from releasing yet another iteration of it before.
Well, the DS really wasn't popular.
Yeah,
The
but
DS
the
only
the
really-
Lite was, and
Right.
yet DSi still happened.
Well, that's... I don't know. Like, the DSi and DSi XL came in very end of the game. That was
did.
the last year of DSery. Last year and a half, to be
DSery.
super specific. So that seems like the thin model PS2 sort of situation. Plus, everyone was like, oh, digital distribution. You
Now-
gotta get the digital distribution.
True, but didn't XL came out like a year and a half before 3DS? But
No, the XL came out a year before, and the DSi came out a year and a half.
really? I thought
Yeah,
they-
I bought
thought
the
they-
DSi. It came out in October 2010 or something. Yeah, it was like
Okay.
what was it? Oh, October 2009, and then the 3DS came out in March 2011. So year and a half.
All right.
Ba-doo-doo. Numbers. Yeah, I don't. This
Yeah, it's aggravating.
this
in that
offends me.
we probably won't be seeing a 3DS Lite at this point.
They seem to be rolling like that. I mean, the fact people are buying the 3DS in this amount is sending them a message that this is good and or okay. And it really, really isn't. That battery life is unacceptable.
Right? That's not a portable.
Right.
I mean, I know that everyone can.
yeah, that just... I never thought about it in those terms before, Bob. It's like that's not a portable device. That's a tiny console that you have to hold.
I mean, I think the absolute worst part of it is they have it murder the battery while it's off or while it's suspended.
Yeah.
Like, I can leave my Vita off for a week
Yeah.
and it dies. Oh, it probably died after 5 days, actually. The
Yeah.
3DS will die within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's broken.
Yeah.
That is not what suspend feature is for. What's wrong with it? And it's not like they have a bad track record. That I left our DSi off on suspend for, what was it? God, probably 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Maybe a month. Came
Yeah,
back and it was
yeah.
fine.
I became
I did
convinced
that.
my DS could not die.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of the thing I went to Nintendo for. Not overly sophisticated hardware or software, just completely rock solid.
I guess you can buy the battery adapter that replaces the back of your 3DS and it's supposed to give it a decent life.
That's completely offensive.
Yeah.
The thought that I should have to tear apart my system in order to make it.
It is not even Nintendo releasing it. It's Nyko being like, okay,
Right.
this is a problem.
And we want to profit. That's really the thing that bugs me about the 3DS XL, that the battery life isn't substantially better, that it's slightly, marginally better. And it's like, guys, it would have taken you $5 whole to make that substantially better. I mean, I forget what the battery life, the actual milliamp hours is in the Vita compared to the 3DS, but I remember that it's fucking ridiculous. It's if it's not 2 times as much, it's over 2 times as much. Because that thing has a good battery in it. And the 3DS fucking doesn't. And at the end of the day, yeah, that drove the cost of the Vita up. That doesn't fucking matter because they made a system that provides a good user experience because it has the battery life to properly work as a goddamn portable. Because I do the same thing as you, Bob. I go to work and I play my Vita on my break, and then I come home and I suspend it and I just sit it down, and I do that like for an entire week. And then eventually I'll be like, oh, I need to recharge it.
Right. It's not something that comes up every day. It's not
Right. And in a sense, my Vita does a bit more sophisticated of a job than a 3DS when it comes to certain things. Like, it'll be like, hey, there's an update for this, or hey, this thing renewed, or hey, the store's renewed, or you got sent this message, or stuff like that. In fact, so much so that it's annoying. But
I mean, they do the Street Pass stuff with the 3DS, which is probably what's killing it.
definitely,
Yeah.
that is hands down what's killing it. They're powering a wireless communication method non-stop while it's suspended. That's fucking retarded. I understand idealistically, it's cool.
I assume you
is.
can't turn it off.
I have not dug through the menus to try and find that yet.
Yeah, you should do that, because if somebody's street passing you at your house, I'll be surprised.
Well, yeah, no. Out of my house, taking my job, I get some stuff. I stopped doing
Like you
that.
boot it up like, what's your name? What's your favorite color? Does a train run through your city?
No, then you're in America. But yeah, I don't know. Can you guys think of a worse version? Like you
Can
said,
it go
the
outside of the Nintendo realm and into other things?
Sure. PSP Go.
Probably, but even that
Had its own little niche. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I have built-in storage, an amazing battery life, and these slightly new cool features compared to the normal PSP. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, maybe we'll get the controller thing with the Vita. No. Oh. Which makes sense.
No, you use the touchscreen on the DualShock.
You get that keyboard thing, and then you use that as the touchscreen. Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
They're eating her. So they're going to eat me.
That didn't happen.
The coolest thing, and I didn't even think about this at first, about the 3DS XL, the only cool thing one might say.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the 3DS has that 1-to-1 pixel mode that makes it really small?
Yeah.
Well, on such a large screen, it makes it a decent size.
Oh, right. Like
so
the resolution won't go up. So, yeah.
Yep. So I was reading numbers, and it's the 90% larger. That means the pixels are thusly, and the whole display is thusly 90% larger.
Right.
And yeah, I can play at that res. I can play my Pokemons and my Virtual Console at that res and not be bugged by it.
All right.
My Vita is it is going crazy. It is like, dude, there are people signing on. Come on, man, let's play games with them.
Experience the online wonderland.
It's the stick. It's going crazy. But what were you gonna say, Bob?
What was I going to say?
Something about backwards 1-to-1 mode.
Yeah, that, okay. If it's like the DSi XL, like, I can't play that. When you blow the images up to that size...
Well, it's not blown up to that size because it would crop. Because you're
Okay.
thinking about if the screen was the size of the DSi XLs.
Right. Because I just remember the games on that, were designed for DS looking terrible at that res.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what drugs you're on, but the 3DS looks like shit when it plays DS games. It's blurry, it's nasty. They clearly don't have sophisticated enough hardware to properly scale resolution like that. And the resolution difference is so negligible. It's like it's not a situation like the Vita where it's like, okay, double the pixels in both directions. Boom. It looks fancy. And 3DS is like, here, let's just take a stick of butter and rub it all over. This is my Pokemon. It's butter too. It kills
Why?
me. Like,
No, I'm going to go to bed tonight, and I'm going to have Paula Deen nightmares now. Fuck you.
Mook. It kills me to look at that, and I'd rather deal with huge pixels than that, because it looks clean. The blurriness fucking murders me.
You know,
it kills me.
with the 3DS, I can, like, hold the screen away, and I don't notice the blurriness.
I noticed
can't
that
get the DSi XL far enough away.
you are on the drugs because there is no distance where blurry image looks good. Like,
It's like CRT, okay?
no, CRT didn't look blurry unless it was dying or shit. Speaking of which, Bob, we grew up with really shitty CRTs.
Of course we did.
Because
The 3DS
you saw that thing.
a shitty CRT?
Yes, that's why its battery life is terrible. we cracked the mystery.
Honestly, if we found that out tomorrow, I would not be surprised. I would kind of be weirded out.
You know, the reason that the Vita has a good battery life is probably because of the OLED. The OLED definitely helps with that.
Right.
Because
It's
it limits
really
the
pretty.
brightness on a lot of the games.
Right.
So, of course, doing that helps infinitely. Because, in case you guys didn't know, I'm not sure I've gone over this. OLED, yeah. In a certain brightness range, it's worse than LCD. Because...
The power of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
I've seen
per
how bright
pixel-
that shit gets.
Per pixel, it's modulating the voltage so that way it can properly be that bright. So by cutting it down like even a tenth of the slider, it's actually prevented probably half of the power usage.
No wonder when I kick it up to full blast on Gravity Rush just to see how it looks. It's kind of eats battery like crazy.
Yeah.
You can actually watch it go down.
Gravity Rush, an open world game, allows for full brightness, but most of the more simple games don't. Someday I gotta sneak into Sony and figure out what their discretion tool is here.
I'm assuming dartboard.
Oh.
I think it's part of their company charter. It's one of those things that's too late to change now because it's a tradition.
So we got a real quick. Let's just, instead of hating on the 3DS XL, which actually, you know what, Aggro, would you buy a 3DS XL? Let's say you were going to
Let me look at the picture of it. Let's see. There's one slider knob on the left, and there on the right. There. No.
Okay.
No, the fuck I wouldn't, because I am insulted by that.
You know, there's actually a pretty large section of the Nintendo fan base. Oh my god, it kills me. They insist that dual analog stick is a gimmick.
Oh.
There's a large section
They just
of the
got
Nintendo fan base that think that since Nintendo had buttons on their controller, they invented buttons.
Yeah.
There's a large section of the Nintendo fan base that is clinically retarded.
Yes. To be fair, Nintendo did, as far as I know, invent the D-pad.
Yeah, they had that style of D-pad, and they're sticking with it.
Yeah, because before that it was all a joystick.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, indeed.
Whoa, joystick hate.
No,
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
only joystick.
Joystick's good for some stuff, but you really kill your ability to have all those buttons by making it a joystick input.
And joystick is very much not good for a lot of stuff.
Oh, like what? Shit, I used to have a
Like
joystick
Mario.
on my PC, and I played every game on that fucking thing.
Doom, doom, doom.
Had like 13 buttons on it, had a little molded hand thing on the base.
Oh,
I don't know where we got it.
That thing.
I'm like, what crazy flight sim did this come off of?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's for flight sims, not Mario.
Yeah. What was I playing, like Midtown Madness? I'm like, power drift! 3 buttons and
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the 3DS has I don't know, they got that latent game, and Fire Emblem's coming next year to the States. It looks pretty promising. I just wish they landed a piece of hardware this year that compels me to buy it.
Now, one thing I like about the 3DS XL here is I want to see like how nice the 3D looks. Because having a bigger screen to look at 3D
if they did anything like that,
would be nice.
Yeah.
Because
They could. And I don't know, I used the DSi XL a good bit, and the types of games I'd be more interested in anyways are Pokemon exclusively. So
So yeah, if you're not doing things that are one-handed, I guess that's not too big an issue.
yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon, the certain sections of the Nintendo fan base are declaring that the Wii U is the platform on which we'll get our Skyrim-style Pokemon game.
That's retarded.
Yes, it is. But I love to watch them dream these dreams. And for a moment, dream them too.
Dan just looks sad.
I am sad. I am very, very sad.
I'm just trying to imagine trying to capture a Pokemon with Skyrim's physics system.
Man, I fucking suck. I went this whole podcast without bringing up the fucking Windows 8 tablet announcement. I'm the worst. I'm the worst site
What do you do?
Well, that sounds better than the 3DS XL. Can we talk about the Surface?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Guess what, guys? We just fucking hijacked this round table. Hey,
2 semicircle
okay,
tables,
Aggro.
bitch.
Do you know anything about the Windows 8 tablet?
I know that everybody who doesn't know Windows came out with a tablet PC in like 2002 is saying they ripped off Apple.
Oh, well, they're fucking retarded. This thing
Yeah.
is nothing like the iPad.
What I hear about it is a couple of things. One, I really want to get my hands on that cover keyboard thing because it's either going to be complete shit or just holy shit. Why is this amazing? 2, I hear it's retardedly powerful.
Well, yeah, it's retardedly powerful. This thing has a Core i5 Ivy Bridge processor. They haven't announced the clock rate for it, but if it was clocked the same as our computers or even close, it would be as powerful as our Nehalem-based processors.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's a tablet. So there's that. And since this is Windows 8, it actually can boot from the Metro UI, which is that weird touchscreen thing you see all the time,
Right.
into a more traditional, normal Windows mode. And
Yeah.
on the Windows or Microsoft Surface Pro, it's Intel driven. So it can execute legacy programs, which means it can run things like Steam, we have
Fuck.
our Steam tablet. It has a USB
Oh,
3.0 port
Yeah, I
on it,
saw that.
so you
Like,
can
it's
plug
just
in.
thick enough for the USB port.
Yep.
Now, I had heard when they were making Windows 8 that they were really focusing on it being mobile compatible, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're like trying to push more phones.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they announced the Surface, which weirded me out because the last I checked, Surface was the name of their big fucking table.
Yeah.
that they were gonna. Are we finally gonna see that? Because some motherfuckers want to play D&D on that shit.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking. They chose the name that best suited their street cred. They're like, we need to go in this with as much good spirit as we can, so... My god, Aggro. This shit can run Steam.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did they announce any manner of price or release?
Here's the
Last I
thing.
heard, we're looking at $600 to $800 for the lower model and $800 to $1,000 for the higher model.
That's conjecture,
Yeah.
but it seems about right. See, they want to price it competitively because here's sort of the issue. Microsoft doesn't have to pay licensing for their own OS, but they want OEMs to make tablets for their OS so that way they aren't the only people in this race.
Right.
So if they price it too low, they could screw all of their OEM partners and totally piss off all of them. They already have a higher
They
end.
should have just Amazon to and like Kindle Fire on there, and it's 200.
Well, here's the thing: the Kindle Fire achieves that by compromising absolutely everything possible.
Really, I kind of figured because
It's more powerful than a Nook, but it is nowhere near.
That's not a high bar.
Yeah, no,
Like my Nook, it does everything a tablet should,
but
slowly and choppily.
yes.
Like it'll YouTube like a boss, but scrolling is always like a half to full second delay.
wow,
Yeah.
that
so
doesn't
it's more like
surprise
I'm
me.
pushing the page down button when I swipe.
Now, so something cool, and you brought it up. The cover for the tablet itself is touch sensitive, so you can use it. There are two models of the cover. There is the one where it's a sort of touchscreen interface.
These aren't
sort
only
of
going
thing.
to be available at the Microsoft Store, are they?
It's funny that you say that.
Oh god.
They did mention they're going to be rolling it out there, but obviously it was sold elsewhere as well. In any case, one of the covers is going to be more of a touch-based technology where you can scroll by running your fingers across that, and then you can also type by tapping on it. The other keyboard, which is the super high-end one they're talking about, Microsoft made it a point to bring up they've developed mice and keyboard for years and years and years. Keyboards for years and years and years, and they put a lot of the technology they developed with that stuff into this. It actually has a gyroscope inside, and it checks
They
the
said there was an
active.
accelerometer in it.
Yeah, it checks the active state of which keys are being pressed 10 times faster than a normal keyboard, and it's twice as accurate as any multi-touch screen can be for a keyboard interface. So this thing's stupid accurate because it feels a keystroke and then it checks. It's like boom. I mean, it's always checking, but it'll like instigate another check as soon as it feels any sort of like.
So is that thing textured at all?
It is,
Okay.
yeah.
Because
From what
I'm
I've
worried,
seen,
because like I'm still not really a fan of smooth laptop keyboards, so I'm just worried about this thing.
yeah. I mean,
For me personally.
it could fall through, but personally, I'm just gonna rely on a USB hub
Yeah.
in a mouse and keyboard because that's what's amazing about this thing. It comes with a very smooth, felt, built-in stand.
Yeah, built-in stand is cool. After I saw the stand, my mind immediately went to, oh god, it's gonna have a projectable keyboard come out of the bottom.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I bet one of the
my
I
God,
bet one of
yeah.
the OEMs will do it. There's no way somebody won't jump on that eventually. Just because it's Windows and it's pretty easy to get like that sort of thing to work.
Yeah.
With the iPad, it's a hell of a lot of. But yeah, in any case, stepping away from that, two cool things real quick. You get to look at this as it's so powerful. This thing is basically a laptop, but it has a 1080p screen and has that sort of portability and all that. And that is so cool. You compare that to an iPad, and that's just not even fucking fair. Because one of these can run normal fucking programs. The other
What are you
one
talking about? I can edit my videos and music on my iPad.
he knows because Apple told him.
They did.
Have you seen that? They were trying to convince people they could be video editors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that, and I've seen RPCs try to run that software.
Their
like,
editing
oh,
program
fuck.
is deeply offensive.
Oh, the fireworks I could do on that Surface.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
It's just a straight up. It's a touchscreen already. You don't.
Yeah,
oh my
and it
God.
comes with a built-in stylus.
Shit.
I was so fucking excited when I heard that. Apparently, the way they get around to making it so thin it's fucking nuts. Have you heard?
It's-
Vapor deposited
Yes.
metals.
So now, when I heard that, is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, each layer, like, they don't manufacture it because that would make it too thick. They make it via a process of vapor depositing the metal layers in the fucker to construct it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
The OEMs don't stand a chance on quality.
Wow.
Yeah.
'cause
They better just argue with price and weird featurization.
They need to freaking get standardize that thing where they do the vapor spray on something and it's waterproof.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever that is.
that would be
Oh,
fucking awesome.
God, a waterproof tablet.
Ugh.
Oh God, it's just like
Throw it away!
like with the shower mount. Just put it up there.
With the 1080p screen, yeah.
You can take pornography anywhere.
Honey,
'Cause
are
I'm
you
like,
doing
yeah,
your
like-
homework? No, I'm watching porn.
I'm thinking like you're in the shower reading the newspaper, checking the weather. No, that's going to be used for porn. Sorry, that's immediately what it's going to be used for.
More porn. Okay, and the second point I was going to bring up after the whole, it's just downright a PC compared to an iPad, which is fucfucking ridiculous. Motherfucker, they announced Windows Phone 8 at the same time, and apparently Windows Phone 8 is going away from using C#, and you can now use C++. So what that means is you can optimize code a lot better for the hardware. More importantly than that, the OS is running on the same kernel as the other two versions, so you'll be able to do a lot of, like, you develop a Metro program, it should work on the desktop version of Windows 8 and the phone
Nice.
version of Windows 8 seamlessly.
We're getting closer.
Yes, this is cool. That is beautiful. That's so much better than buying an app for your iPad and iPhone because it's actually coming home for once.
Yeah,
It has the full experience.
like that kind of interconnectivity, like that seamless flow between devices. I was telling somebody, I'm waiting that last bit of technology I need to declare the future over, and we move into post-future.
Well,
Is proximity wireless file sharing, to where I can take my tablet, bump my PC.
We're there.
Yeah, I know we can do it. I need it to be ubiquitously implemented.
okay. See,
Isn't that what they tried to do with the Zune?
Yes, the Zune did that.
but it didn't do it like with the bump. There's a technology, NFC, near field communication.
Didn't the iPhone have an app that did that?
I don't think the
first
iPhone
one,
has.
You could bump and you would share your contact information.
I'm trying to remember how that worked. It may have been an IR. I'm trying to remember how that worked. But I know some of the newer Google phones have NFC chips in them, which works like Skylanders does. The Skylander action figure has a chip in it, NFC, and then you stick it on the NFC's stand, and it communicates information. These newer phones have that too. So you can make payments to other people like that. You can send them files. You can do stuff like that.
That's
Really
what
quick.
reminds something completely out of nowhere. That
I love tacos. Who wants some?
Wii U, they showed off that they even pointed out where they had the NFC chip in it, and they didn't show any games that used that.
Yeah.
These three. What
Yeah.
the heck?
Which is weird because we had that
Oh my
leaked
God.
video that was Rayman.
The new Super Smash Brothers is going to have like 50 characters, but you have to buy them in stores.
Dude, I'm okay with that.
Kill me now. I'm not okay with spending $150 on
No,
Super
like, here's the
Smash
thing.
Brothers.
They beta tested for like a year. They figure out the character tiers before official release and price them accordingly.
I mean, dude. I mean,
Ice climbers
ultimately,
are still at the bottom for some reason. I'm like, yes!
if they add a leveling mechanic or anything cool like that, where you can just build up your character somehow,
Oh,
like,
God.
I'm sold.
if they do it in a way that is not per character, like if you just have the Smash Bros. Hub and you take that places, that is awesome.
How would that work?
It'd be basically like load up your file anywhere. And it would keep track of all your data.
What would be the difference between that and a save file?
It's basically the same thing as a memory card and a save file, but it's more oriented towards this is going to use your characters on someone else's platform.
Well, memory cards used to do that.
Yeah,
It was
but
a
memory
crazy
cards,
thing.
they died this gen, so that didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And so NFC could be the way of the future in doing that.
What's this roundtable even about anymore?
Not the 3DI XL.
Some hardware is really shitty, and some hardware looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm.
Can you, the viewer, tell the difference?
We'll find out in the comments.
No, we won't.
Oh yes, we will. But yeah, I just need to know when the Pro version's coming out, because the non-Pro, which they're calling Microsoft Surface FRT, and there's a good reason they're calling it that, is coming out at the same time as Windows 8. And that one, in case you guys don't know, is based on an NVIDIA Tegra 3. So it's the full NVIDIA system on a chip using a high-end ARM processor and custom NVIDIA graphics.
Huh.
And that's going to be the ARM flavor of Windows 8 running on that. And it won't be able to run legacy code because of that.
Right.
But the same stuff that's designed for Windows 8 Metro UI that'll work on your phone and other things will work on that. So that's really cool that that's a lower end model that'll be there at launch, but I really want the Pro because I really want that. I want to have that functionality that follows me everywhere I go. I understand that making something in Vegas isn't going to be nearly as smooth of a process as making it here, most likely.
It's going to be possible.
It's going to be possible. That's the thing.
Right, and I could never justify buying a separate laptop, but maybe something like this.
Yeah, I mean, because why not? It's like better than a laptop in the sense, like, I know you and I talk about how hard it is to sell people on a video production service.
Right.
With the 1080p screen tablet, that's a lot easier. And if you can do some cool things on it on the fly and that sort of thing, like if you can bring that into a meeting and they dislike how it's made, you can just very quickly go back in and be like, okay, would you like it more like this? That's cool. That's really neat. That's a whole new level of product. Plus, laptops are a good bit larger than...
Yeah,
unless you're talking MacBook Pro Air or MacBook...
No, you need an Alienware for video editing.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
It needs to be 3 feet wide.
Oh, God.
Laptop.
Fuck me. Like, I keep seeing them at Best Buy. I'm like, is that a drafting table? Jesus.
Does this shit run AutoCAD? Because that's the only thing anyone could ever
Fucking
use.
analog CAD. It's like a peg and string system. I could serve a picnic on this bitch.
I could modify this quickly into a pachinko table. Oh man, but I'm very disappointed at the 3DS XL. I'm very astonished over how awesome the Windows... Like, I feel bad for not seeing how awesome that could have been. Windows 8 has been all negative in my mind.
I worry that it'll just kind of happen like the Zune and be like, man, this is kind of cool, and then then it won't sell, and then Microsoft will just drop it because it's not selling.
Extremely disappointing, both of the guys who bought it.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the Zune was kind of cool. I guess the difference here is that there are a lot of people... Like, you know how the whole industry's going away from Premiere, video production-wise. Like, they're going away from Premiere and towards... or they're going away from... Shit, what's Apple's one called? Because Premiere's Adobe. Right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Final Cut Pro. They're going away from Final Cut Pro, and they're going towards Avid, and Avid is obviously...
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, it really does hit a niche that's going to matter to people like that who do the more high-end stuff. And it looks so svelte, and it has so many cool features that it probably will appeal to people who are just snobs who have the iPad. It'll appeal to the Gabe and Tychos of the world.
So is this the iPad free for real?
Like, really, on the narrative angle here, getting the Microsoft Surface allows you to have the inane, conspicuous consumption cool factor without being tied to Apple's fan base.
Yeah, which is really cool, I gotta admit. I mean, it's like that getting a PS3 at launch sort of feeling of like, look at this high-end thing I have that you don't. And you wouldn't do, but you think of me differently because I have this. I mean, Microsoft Surface is like that. I don't know. This thing's stupid nuts. That's all I can...
Like we're going to have to wait a few months, because I'm still kind of in fanboy mode over this thing. Like, it looks so cool. It has no flaws.
Dude, I don't...
Did that guy say they turned metal into gas and then put it on there? Fuck yeah.
That's the sort of... Like, and it's good that they did that. You know why? That shows that they understand why the iPad and that sort of stuff is successful. It's that same sort of, like, it's artistically, as a form, sound.
Right.
They're like, because of this, and oh god, this is one of the craziest things. I completely forgot to mention it. They were like, because of the fact we use this vapor deposited technology, we can actually make our edges this ridiculously small. They like gave a specific number, and they're like, if you manufacture, you can only get it this small. But since we use this, boom. And I'm like, oh, nerd boner!
I watched the first part of the keynote, and I love when he's using one and it fucks up. So he just walks behind the table, like, hang on a second, switches it out, and keeps going.
See, that's how you know they're learning.
Like it works so great with... Fuck.
Why does it always happen when we say it works great? Next year we're gonna come out this piece of shit. Fucking sucks dicks. Guys from the Digital Foundry were saying we're probably gonna have to wait till the second version of the Intel setup to really get gaming perfectly down.
No, I wouldn't. I don't care what they say. I don't believe gaming will perfectly work on this thing for a while.
Honestly, I could see Ys Origin running on it.
Maybe get some League of Legends.
Definitely League of Legends.
My
that
God.
thing can
Yeah, League of Legends is you didn't you can touch it.
But see, I don't know, because you put League of Legends, like, that thing better be like double Gorilla Glass. One, fuck you, Fortune, fuck you, poking that goddamn screen.
Now, see, we need to get a Microsoft Surface on launch day, right?
Break that motherfucker by poking.
And constantly, like script and write all of them in advance, and just go on a filming frenzy and editing frenzy of making ads for it that are that level. It's League of Legends, but you can touch it. Oh my god! Microsoft touch it. It lets you touch Tristy.
Oh my god, I could finally be good at StarCraft.
Whoa, what? No. It won't allow you. It'll be like, what is B-Sod?
I'll become Korean.
Microsoft Surface made me honorable to family.
Microsoft gets sued by every nation on the planet.
Dude, that is so
Korea
racist. Twice. Okay. For North and South, or just...
South Korea twice.
Oh.
North Korea isn't allowed access to the legal system.
No, this is our legal system. You go.
North Korea's like, we would like to sue someone. The UN's like, are you fucking kidding? Does North Korea attend UN meetings ever, like, as a joke? And, like, they say, like, well, in North Korea and fucking Yugoslavia's over there, like, why did you kidnap another white bitch?
It's kind of funny. You've seen Donnie Darko.
Yes.
You know when they're walking through the forest and he's trying to get his first kiss, and his girlfriend's like, oh, well, I would, but that fat guy over there is watching. There's just a guy in, like, some sweatshirt, nasty outfit with, like, a 5 o'clock shadow drinking something, and he just drops it and walks away. That's them at the UN meetings. They're like, well, can we talk about this? Well, we can talk about this, but Korea's watching. North Korea's watching, and they're just, like, sleazy in the bag, drops, like, a paper cup full of Kool-Aid on the ground and walks out. And just, fuck it. Fuck you. I was just watching, but now it doesn't even look cool, because you know I'm here.
North Korea is creepy.
Creepy. Yeah. I think we learned a lot today about North Korea and Microsoft Surface. I mean, how weird is it that Nintendo did something completely insanely lame with a new hardware update, when we thought they were going to be like, here's the non-broken of the 3DS. It doesn't have 3D.
Why is it called the 3DS? We're too far into this shit now.
The 2DS. Please, Nintendo. I know it'll be like $40 less to produce, and I'll buy it. Because it'll have better battery life. Just give me the 2DS.
It says, we're sorry on every box.
God, I probably would buy the 2DS. Jesus.
Yeah.
I would. It would have good battery life.
Right?
I bought the DSi thinking about buying it again.
And the DSi was already a downgrade without playing Game Boy Advance
Nintendo doesn't
games.
really understand why that works, so they released the 1DS that it only has one screen, and there's just a black line in the middle. God damn it.
No. See, it can't be a black line because that has width to it. It is one high. Ergo, You look at the screen, or at least what they call the screen, and the terror that is the one-dimensional thing that sits before you unfurls your brain.
Take care not to stare too long into the 1DS, for the 1DS stares also into you.
They better not put that thing on display in stores. I mean, after people get the experience once, they won't need to go back to it. They're dead. It was amazing, but they're dead.
I would get a job as a game store clerk just because they did
Here
that.
you go.
Also, did you hear Nintendo release the 1DS? And I would gesture at it and then just see their faces melt.
I'm like, no, don't look at that part of the room. I'm not sure it's there. Like, I like to reserve, why do I feel the hot portents of nothing licking at the nape of my neck? The universe is unmade. I weep. The end is nigh.
So something a little bit more sane. I guess this
League
ties
of
in.
Legends
On the 3DS.
you can touch.
No, yes.
Killer app.
Killer app.
Yep.
But this ties in very much with what Microsoft is pushing with that E3 press conference talking about smart glass and all that.
Yeah. I mean, that compared to this, an actual real-world application and potential is ridiculous. I mean, because that was like, look, if some developer of some show out there makes some custom app to show meta information about a map of where all these places are located. Yep. And that was just retarded. This is basically yet another one of those what was it, 100 against 1 or 100 versus 1, whereas the game show thing they did for a very short period of time. I think Smart Glass is going to be another one of those for the television show aspect. The game and menu aspect, I think that's going to stick. Probably.
I don't know. The menu obviously, that's not going anywhere, but I don't think developers will support that off base and then still won't support it like ever.
Yeah.
Maybe Wii U ports will get like some thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I keep thinking about putting maps on the Wii U screen. It was like, but you'll have to look away from the screen to look at it. And I feel like the only one going, yeah, that's fucking hardcore. Let's do it.
Yeah, what was it? Zombie U.
Yeah,
something like that. And
I
cool.
love those applications of that technology.
Yeah.
Like, I'm last year's E3, when they showed up the gamepad, and like, this is retarded. I'm like, I don't know. They could do some brilliant shit with this. And then Ubisoft did?
Question mark? What the fuck, guys?
Like, Ubisoft was fucking carrying E3.
That is probably going to be, that is the first and last time that will
Ubisoft's
happen.
like, oh fuck, were we competent? Sorry.
Which is funny because their own conference was the worst conference. Fucking terrible conference.
Do you know how hard I could blitzcrank on a fucking Surface? Jesus.
How hard?
So fucking hard.
You know it, bro.
Oh.
We should play some League after this.
We should do that.
Either that or quick play that PlayStation i game. Because I'm curious. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Shock brain.